get to you, Amy.
I'm just pulling up my website. Are you kidding me?
Uh-oh, the live button came up.
Okay.
Yeah. Crap, what?
What does that mean again?
I'm going bones here. I don't know what that means.
We're live.
Trouble.
Okay.
And we are live.
I don't know if we've got any viewers yet, but we're going to go ahead and get started.
If so, I apologize.
Okay, well, welcome to Lasers, Dragons, and Keyboards. I'm Liberty Spidell.
I'm Josh Hart.
I'm a guinea pig.
You're not supposed to break me already.
I was going to say that took less time than expected.
Today, go ahead, Amy.
I'm just a guest. I don't normally hang out with these people, so I'm not entirely certain what's going on here.
I would deny involvement too.
Yes. Today we have a very special episode of LDK. We have a guest host with our friend Amy Brock McNew, and we are live. At least we think we are.
I'm pretty sure we are. So,
are we broadcasting the video on this too?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, so this was a double experiment. Uh-oh. I apologize for the rafters.
Yeah.
Get some drywall. I didn't know it was too late for that, though.
Anyway, so we have Amy on today because we are interviewing Aaron.
Yay!
Yay!
So, Aaron, why don't you go ahead and give us a brief bio on you?
I wasn't prepared for this. Let's see. I'll just go to my website and read it from there, and we'll call that good, right?
I think so.
Aaron has had a few different jobs, ranging. I broke it already, and it's live. We can't fix it. Take two. Aaron has had a few different jobs, ranging from computer tech support to real estate and lawn and farm sales and service. His current day job is a Linux sysadmin at a web hosting company. He also enjoys photography and reading and has been a Star Trek and Star Wars fan for as long as he can remember.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad we were able. I'm glad we get to hang out with you guys today. So.
Yeah, and for all of our current existing two listeners, you'll see how much work Liberty does at editing to make this professional.
Yes.
So a big round of applause for Liberty for all the work she puts in there. Because
sometimes.
Commence with the train wreck.
I would just like to say that I had no idea that we were going live and this was unedited. So, yeah, maybe I should have had more coffee.
Yeah. I was going to make tea and totally forgot.
Have you listened? You've been a guest on the show, Amy. You know what a train wreck it normally is anyways. But it's fun.
Oh, that it is.
Okay, just a quick reminder for anybody watching live, you will be able to ask questions. I'm not totally sure where that's at, but if you move your mouse around, you should be able to find that. And if you just want to quickly say hi that you're viewing, that would be awesome. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the questions. So Aaron, tell us, what is your name? What is your quest? And what ship did Janeway captain?
I obviously don't know my name if you've listened to the show before. My quest is to write space opera because I like it. And Janeway captained the USS Trainwreck. Or the USS, that looks dangerous. Let's go poke it with a stick and see what could possibly go wrong.
So is that our
literal among us watching? It was the Voyager.
Yes. So that should be our flagship, the USS Trainwreck.
New domain name. This podcast is no longer called Lasers, Dragons, and Keyboards. It's now called Writing Train Wrecks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go check and see if that's available on Hover.
So, Aaron, would you tell us a little bit about Eterno?
Etherno, actually, there's an H in there.
Okay.
The H is not silent.
Eterno. Okay.
I'll just read the spiel I have on that too, because I'm totally prepared for this, as you can tell. And I am horrible about summing up books. I even do book reviews and stuff. It's like I got this whole giant book. Take that, but you got a brief thing. Anyway, the back of the cover copy, to shorten it up, teaser, preview, whatever you want to call it, is scholarship student Onan thought magical school would be easy. Sure, his roomie's a little flaky, and one of his classmates tends to sneeze herself into the wall, but that's par for the course. Onan's even made a connection with cute and oddly warm newcomer Kasai. Then the alien Nadas start possessing humans and targeting the magically gifted. Now it'll take all of Onan's wits and his magical classmates' help to stop the invasion and discover the true endgame of the Nadas. Thankfully, they have a fiery half-dragon ally, one who seems curiously connected to quiet Kasai. So that's kind of the brief spiel.
Cool.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Basically, the even shorter behind-the-scenes version for that is I like anime-inspired storylines where you throw like 15 different genres together and see what happens. And space opera and superheroes.
Experimentation.
Yeah.
Amy, you want to take the next question?
Well, of course, Liberty. Okay, so where did you get the idea for this book?
A couple different inspirations. Number one, I was watching too much anime and decided I wanted to throw a bunch of genres together. And a couple of different, there was a couple of different ideas that all come together. One of the core genesis of this is I had a dream/daydream one day about this guy who woke up on a couch with a girl, and they only kind of sort of knew each other, and they had no idea where they had gotten to that point. And that scene kind of was the inspiration. And then what I like to do when I have little moments like that is go back and kind of daydream and then ponder and what if from there. And that scene is actually coming up in chapter 9 that actually released today. So there's a whole bunch more that happened before then. And then one of the other inspirations is minor spoiler here. But I don't think we're too spoilerish on that since chapter 9 just released. You can read it all online at AaronDeMott.com if you've missed it. But the main character of the book, Kasai, has multiple personality disorder. And that was kind of inspired from an episode of Psych.
Okay.
And then, of course, we got a what if that. And all right, what if it's not just multiple personality disorder? What if she's actually...
Oh, boy.
We have lost Aaron.
Stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Wow, that was fun. Am I back? That was interesting. How much of that did we miss?
You were explaining that there was something more going on besides multiple personality disorder.
Yeah. Kasai is also a half alien. So when she switches personality, she also changes shape a little bit too. So there's a little bit of shape shifting going on. Like I said, I like to throw a bunch of stuff together. It adds a more interesting dimension to it too, in my opinion. So
fascinating.
Cool. So what's it like writing a serial?
Very interesting. A couple of friends of mine have done that. I don't know if anybody knows. We had Cindy Kepp on the program before. A long time ago. She was writing a serial, and I followed that when she was going along. So that's kind of why where the idea of writing this as a serial came from. And the other part of that was I've kind of gotten into a writing slump. I got a new day job recently, so I'm super busy, and also have 4 kids running around. And so I got to a point where I wasn't doing hardly any writing at all. So I thought, I need to do something interesting here. Why not release this as a serial as kind of an inspiration to kind of kick myself in the butt? And as a result of that, I so far haven't missed a release week yet, and it's been crazy hectic. It's also been a lot of fun because I'm actually making progress with this, and I don't know, pretty much any authors listening or anybody who's been wondering behind the scenes process, most authors have a whole bunch of work in progresses that, all right, I've got like 5 books in the back burner, and meanwhile, all the readers are, and there's a reader myself, it's like, when's the next story coming out? Is it coming out yet? It takes a while. So the other thought behind that was, all right, if I release this as a web serial, I can get kind of something out there so I can let everybody know, hey, I really am working on some stuff. I'm not just kind of sitting here twiddling my thumbs going, I'm going to torture them more by waiting to release it. So it's been a lot of fun with, obviously I release once a week, so that's kind of a tight schedule. And
so
the book.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I had the first 50,000 words of this written before I started, so it did give me a bit of a buffer, but I want to do at least a little bit of, tiny bit of editing before I get this out, and so it's kind of a hectic journey, making sure that I get this edited and poking people, the kind of people who have volunteered to beta read. I really do need this. Like, now, please, please. Hello, anyone? Bueller?
I'm sorry. It's been hectic too.
And also another shout out to Cindy Cup here, who has faithfully beta read every week.
Yep.
And I'm also working on getting the finishing the story too, and getting that done while I'm editing is interesting.
Yeah. So what is your writing process like for this, and for other stories you've written?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question because normally I'm a total pantser. And with this novel, I've decided to do something a little bit different. And this has been pretty much an experiment in every way. This is the first novel I've started writing in Scrivener, so that was interesting, trying to learn how that works. It's also the first novel I've even sort of basically outlined. I wrote an outline before I started this one with at least chapter headers and a vague idea of how that's going. There's a couple chapter headers out of that outline that I've just plain thrown away. There's a couple of them that I've combined into one, and several of them I've added, including a new character that comes in, and the new character is introduced in chapter 15. I got the idea for her and decided, all right, I've got to throw her in. And that has been interesting, kind of adding that in last minute too.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious. I am, I think, a lot older than a couple of you, and all my kids are grown. So I have, and this is my only job, so I have plenty of time to write. So I'm intrigued. You have 4 kids, and they're all under 10. How do you find time to write? And when you get down in your office to write, how do you keep the peace for a while so you can actually get something done?
That is actually the biggest challenge right now, and that's why I wasn't writing at all for a short time, is because there is no time. Also, my job, I work 4 10s, so that gives me just a couple hours, and I also live like a 45-minute drive from work, so that gives me no time in the day. And then on my weekend, it's getting caught up on all of the household chores that I should have been doing throughout the rest of the week. So usually what I do is I get home from work at about 1 to 1:30 and write till about 2 a.m. or author till 2 a.m. and then go to bed. So it's cramming time in for then. And it works out kind of nice that way because the kids are mostly asleep by then. Mostly. They should be asleep by then.
They're supposed to be.
They're supposed to be.
We all know how that goes.
And fortunately, I'm a night owl, so that works out pretty well for me.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I get time on the weekends to kind of cram some stuff in, too. There have been a couple of times recently where it's been, this is Friday. This comes out tomorrow. I better start editing this.
Maybe. Yeah.
Type. Ah.
Yes.
So if you see a badly edited chapter, that's why. And also that is the long-term plan. I don't know if this is going to be asked or whatnot later, but the long-term plan for this is after it gets released as a web serial, I'm going to take a bit of a hiatus and then re-edit it and either release it as self-published or through a small press and get it in book form at that point.
Nice.
Cool.
So, why did you move into a different setting when you've written space opera? And we all know that you love space opera very much.
Well, this book is space opera. Is the short version.
Ah.
It's all aliens. There's aliens that are called humans, but there's several different alien cultures that come in. One of the alien cultures is hinted at really at the beginning, and you get more into that later. And in season 2, we're going to get a little bit more into that and figure out, like, the main bad guys in this are also aliens. And we're going to move off the main planet in season 2 and kind of go into some more traditional space opera territory.
Cool. Because
Right.
I mean, I've read a little bit of it, but it all felt like it was Earth-based. So
It kind of starts that way. It kind of starts out.
Yeah.
It's an alien culture. It's an alien culture, but it feels kind of close to home. It feels kind of near future-ish, but there are aliens. There's hover technology that's kind of mentioned right off the bat. There's hover cars and stuff to start with, and then it kind of progresses further and further from there as our characters figure out, oh, well, we know there's alien species, but there's actually more than we thought there is, and they kind of get tossed into this big galactic conflict and whatever. And actually that ties into I've got edit, please. Oh wait, it's live. I trip over my own words a lot. So again, thank you to Liberty for normally editing this kind of stuff.
Just wait till we get to mine.
And I apologize to everybody who's getting this fascinating behind the scenes look of me going. Josh is laughing because that happens more than you know.
Yes. But that's
What was I
okay.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple other ideas for stories that are set in the same universe but on different planets. And
Ooh.
in the multiple books, we're going to have this planet over here and then this planet over here. And then in the second series of the book, they come together and all the characters will eventually come together in a big giant war against the dragons and Natus.
sweet.
Oops, spoiler.
Fantastic.
Crossover.
So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
So that sounds amazing. So in this grand experiment that you're doing, what's been the best part?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of fun parts for me. For me, everybody says write what you know and write what you love, and this is the kind of stuff I like. You get space opera, different alien creatures, massive scale stuff. The dragons were kind of a late addition to this. I have another story that they've got the first draft on that's set on another planet in the same universe. And about 80% of the way through that story, I thought, I should have dragons because everybody likes dragons. And then I thought, dragons are a bit overdone. What's a different way to make dragons? And since I like space opera, I like, hey, what if the dragons were more of a silicon-based life form, like, the Horda from Star Trek or something? So they'd be more of a rock-based. And they'd be powered by internal fusion fire. And then like, oh, wait a minute. What if their DNA was based off, instead of different pigments for skin tones, their DNA was based on different rock or crystal formations. So you have different strength of dragons. You have like ruby bay dragons, topaz dragons, sapphire dragons, etc., etc.
Excellent.
And there's a bit of a spoiler that I'm not going to go into now, but there is a special metal in my universe that can store and re-emit energy. And this is used for weapons that are magical, almost, because, you know, Arthur C. Clarke's quote, of course, any technology is sufficiently advanced is indistinguishable from magic.
Mm-hmm.
So then I thought, wait a minute. What if these dragons, what if there were at least a couple of super rare dragons that were based off of that metal? So in the book that's a work in progress, the dragons show up in the prologue, in the epilogue. And they're going to factor in they're going to play a big role in Big View. There I go again. They're going to play a bigger part in book 2 of that. And they're kind of involved in the beginning of this book because Kasai is half dragon, which is a little bit of a spoiler, but everybody's right up through episode 9 just probably figured that out by now.
Wait, what happened?
Because it hasn't been explicitly stated yet, but it's pretty well, and everybody's pretty much figured it out.
Yeah.
So that's the best part, writing all this crazy stuff. What's the worst part?
Oh, yeah. The worst part is pretty much the timetable, trying to find time to write it all. And I would like to be able to afford to hire more professional editing before getting it out to people, but that is counterintuitive to this particular experiment for 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm broke. And number 2, the whole idea of releasing it as a web serial is to get it out every week to kind of A, kick myself in the butt, and B, let people know what I'm up to, and I'm know, hey, I really am working on stuff. Here's kind of a preview of some of the stuff that I'm working on. And to put all that through the full professional editing would totally throw that timetable out of whack too.
Yeah.
So
especially if you're writing it the night before it's released.
Sometimes I do have, at the moment, I've got a 8-chapter buffer, so I have the next 8 chapters written already, not edited but written.
Cool.
That's
so in
good.
all my free time, that's what I would do was working, going back through those and cleaning those up.
Your hundreds of hours of free time a week.
Yeah, so that's kind of the nice part about a web serial is that I can get it all written and get it out. And then, like I said, there's going to be hiatus between season 1 and season 2 where we get it more professionally edited and in one big book form so you can get it that way too.
Sweet.
Before season 2 comes out.
Awesome.
So you said you have an 8-chapter buffer. How much more is going to be in the season? And do you know where you're going with the story?
I know where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going with the story. Minor spoiler, but not too big. This season is going to end with them just jumping through a portal. And they're not entirely sure where the said portal goes.
Sweet.
I know some of our listeners know exactly what that's like.
You know, jumping through a portal that they didn't know where it went didn't go well for the cast of Angel. They ended up in Hialeah.
It's not. Yeah. It's going to go very well. I mean, I know where they're going, but they don't know where they're going. So yeah, right now I've got an 8-chapter buffer, and I have ideas for at least 2 or 3 other chapters, and I could stretch this out a lot longer, but I want to get it to that point. I'm hoping this is going to end up around 80,000 words for all of season 1, roughly. Because right now, like I said, I've got that 8-chapter buffer, and I've got ideas for the next couple of chapters, and I'm not entirely sure how long each of those is going to be at this point.
Okay.
And then I've got at least a vague, nebulous idea what's going to happen for season 2.
Awesome.
And I've got part of that written already, actually, which is another question for my beta readers that I need to ask in a couple of different questions is what I'm gonna do with that little hunk of writing.
Aaron, what are you doing? You're joining the light side. You're becoming a plotter. Don't do it. Stay on the dark side.
It actually is working out pretty well as far as the quick release schedule because
we have pictures and chocolate
I'm
on the dark side.
not having writer's block with this particular series, so that's fun.
That is good. So, Amy, Amy was talking with the two of us, Aaron, and she was curious. Why do you hang out with us? Why do you hang out with us?
I don't know.
I know these two. I mean, how do you put up with them? I mean, you know.
That was my question: is how do they put up with me? It's Liberty's fault.
I take full responsibility.
Filmmaker, she asked, "Do you want to do a podcast?" And I, foolishly not knowing what was to come, said, "Sure, why not?" What could possibly go wrong?
To be fair, she asked me to be on the podcast during a really stressful time at the job that I was at. I was less in my right mind than normal.
So both of you are pleading, let's see, there was ignorance and then insanity. Okay.
And we're slowly spiraling down that hole right now.
You know we love you, Liberty.
I know.
Liberty had no idea she was getting roasted today.
The roasting happened when they interviewed me about a year ago.
Oh, that was fun.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
Wait,
Anyways.
Maybe I should be nicer because I'm up next. I love you, Liberty. You're my favorite person in the entire world.
Butter up so she'll edit your episode, sure.
Oh, man.
Hi. Okay, let's see. I think, is it my turn?
I think it is too.
Yeah,
okay.
It's your turn.
Who is your non-Star Trek captain?
Non-Star Trek captain. Oh, that's a tough one. There's so many ones to choose from outside of that.
Don't pick mine. Don't pick mine. Don't pick mine.
Don't do the cop out and pick a Star Wars captain either.
Oh, let's see. Does this specifically have to be a captain or just a leader of some sort?
You
or
can
do they
be
have
a
to have the
leader.
rank of captain?
Later.
It can be.
All right, in
leader.
that case, Colonel O'Neill from Stargate.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good
there
one.
you go. There you go. Yes.
That's a good one.
Because other than Captain Picard, he was the person that I would want to follow across space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's pretty
I would
awesome.
agree. I have to give a shout out to previous guest and her husband, Kessie Carroll and Ryan Carroll, or KM Carroll. We were talking about Stargate last night, and it's like, yep, O'Neill is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Spelled with 2 L's. That other guy has no sense of humor.
We were specifically talking about the episode Window of Opportunity, which is the best time travel or time loop episode of a sci-fi series ever.
That was amazing.
That is the best time episode of anything ever.
Yes. Have you seen this, Amy? Oh, Amy disappeared for a minute.
Uh-oh.
That's
be
fine.
back in a second, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if Amy's seen Stargate or not. So
I don't know.
we'll have to ask her when maybe we'll blindside her with in the next episode. Because she doesn't know what we're doing.
Yes.
You're not the only one who experiences some discomfort.
Teal, how far do you think that shot was?
Several billion miles.
Several million miles, O'Neill.
So I come back and
gotta
we're
be
talking
right.
about Teoc. We're still on Stargate, right?
Yep.
Yes.
We got off on a tangent. We could talk
Colonel-
about Window of Opportunity for the next hour, probably, or more.
Colonel, what the heck are you doing? In the middle of my backswing? Sorry. It's an
And of course,
episode
the
we can
wacko
talk
quote.
about. Yes.
I need to go see
So,
that
thank
show
you.
again. I love that.
So
I might
thank
pop a
you
DVD
to the
in when we get down here.
creators
What?
of Stargate. Thank you to the creators of Stargate for much enjoyment years later.
Yes. Yes. So, okay, Aaron. So, what's been the hardest part of writing or marketing a cereal?
Marketing.
Everybody's favorite question.
We've talked to what, 2 people that have liked marketing?
Well,
And
Ben
I'm
didn't
starting-
like marketing.
My experience with marketing has been similar to my experience with any of those stay-at-home business models. Like, for example, one of the things you might not know about me is for a while I sold Pampered Chef cookware and stuff. Why, you ask? Because I wanted a bunch of free cookware. And you have this deal where you sign up to be a Pampered Chef consultant and you get this much cookware for this much price. And then I already lined up 4 different people to have shows for me. So I got a bunch of free cookware, basically. Why not?
Yep.
Works for me.
I still have my Cutco stuff.
And the idea behind this is you have these 4 people that you know, and you go do a show at those people's houses, and they invite people that you don't know, and you go do a show at those people's houses, and they invite more people you don't know, and it expands exponentially. That's the idea.
Right.
My experience with that has been, I go to the people's house that I do know. I meet the people that I don't know there, and every last single one of them says, "Oh, I love coming to these shows, but I don't want to host one."
Yeah.
This has been my exact same experience with marketing. You have all these books or websites or professionals that tell you, "Oh, you do this one marketing thing, you'll get 10,000 followers. You'll at least double your followers if you do this one specific thing." I study this thing. I make sure I do it right. I do the thing exactly as I was told to.
Mm-hmm.
On a good day, I'll gain 1 follower. And I'm like, and then on a bad day, I'm like, all right, I really like this story. I love it. This is the kind of thing I love to read.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else like this thing? I don't know anymore.
Oh yeah.
And part of that is there's so much market glut and marketing stuff coming at you that it's like, oh, I see this web banner for a thing or whatever, and yeah, I might like that, but you have so much stuff that's like, and I think that's part of why some of that stuff doesn't work as advertised. I don't know. Maybe I do suck. I don't know. We won't spiral into that pit of depression today. Anyway,
well, if it's any
Mark.
consolation, I have a marketing degree and I love marketing, and still this whole thing makes me want to pull my hair out and throw things at the wall most days. So yeah,
Okay, it's not just me. Awesome.
Okay.
That oddly makes me feel better. I'm sorry.
I want to take a second real quick before we ask our last question that we've got slated that we've got a couple people watching. So if you guys have any questions, there's a spot on the YouTube channel where you can ask them.
Did
so
you
if
find that spot? Do we know how to view it?
I have found it. It's on the YouTube main channel. It's not on. It's hidden from us.
Okay,
from,
is somebody
from the 4 of
watching
us.
that?
I have it up. So
Okay, good, because I don't know where it is.
Anyway,
I'm clearly prepared for this live broadcast, aren't I?
yeah. So
Yes.
get them in real quick if you want to ask a question. Otherwise, we're going to ask our final question and take a short break and then move on to Amy's interview. So,
Does anybody have a handwritten intermission signed?
well, we'll actually
give me a second.
we'll actually end this broadcast and then we'll create a new one. So,
okay, that makes more sense.
yes, it makes more sense.
This is why Liberty's in charge.
Yes.
Yes. So, Josh, I think this is.
I think it's my
question.
turn.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, where can readers find it Etherno?
Lots of places. And you know what? It's free. You can go, the easiest way is to go to aarondemott.com. That's AARONDEMOTT.com. There's no N in DeMott. A lot of people like to put it in for some reason. I don't know why. If you're following the Lasers, Dragons, and Keyboards podcast, you can see a link from there too. Or if you already have the LDK page bookmarked, you can go to the LDK page and click the About Us link and do it right from there. It's also available on Wattpad if you have a Wattpad account. and a couple other places. The easiest way to do that is to go to my website and sign up for the newsletter, and I will send you a reminder straight to your inbox to whenever your episode comes out.
Sweet.
No spam, I promise.
Awesome.
Because I hate spam more than you do working in web hosting. Trust me, I really hate it more than you do.
So I am just popping those into the chat window. I think those will stay available. So, okay. Well, awesome.
Nice.
I think.
Everybody's missing.
Oh, gosh.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Well, we are interviewing you, Amy, and it's Guts on the Page. This is who I am.
So, well, thanks.
Yes, I really am this weird in real life. Too, so
Yes,
Oh,
we
Aaron,
are. Yes.
Aaron, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Aaron, I think this was a great test run on the live broadcast. I think this went well. So,
Yeah.
for
I
our
didn't make too much of an embarrassment of myself then, right?
no, I don't think so. So,
Okay, good.
I think we're gonna.
Snicker.
I'm gonna just for our viewers. I'm going to end this broadcast, and then there will be another link in our YouTube channel in a moment when I get the second episode set up. And
Don't go away yet.
Yeah, so don't go away yet. We'll be back in just a few minutes with another episode, and there'll be
Wait for it.
There'll be a link on the Lasers, Dragons, and Keyboards Facebook page just as soon as I have it available.
Yep.
So stay tuned. We're gonna come right back. So.